Welcome to an Shock News Report, and yes, today we are talking about our first season preview of the series. Season preview, let's get started. I want to start on July 25th, then I said, you know what, let's start today, July 22nd. Let's get started tonight. If you hear any thunder or anything, or any noise, usually we have a thunderstorm right now. So if you do hear anything, my apologies, but let's get into it. So, the Jets season preview here. This is all about the Jets, what's going to be in the 2020 season. Let me kind of show you kind of the asterisks here, what is happening here. Here we go, is the injured reserve here. Injured most of the season. So if you can see some of the asterisks also there. So you do know, so if you look at the points, you're like, that's nothing. It can potentially be an injured person. Look here, RFA, if you see black thing, you might not see a cap contract. That means for RFA, like Connell, Line, other ones like that. Looking at that, and then those are the two asterisks I have just to show you. I do not have any new arrivals, one because only one was appearing. So let's get into it. 17-18 season, I'd like to go backtrack a little, kind of talk about what happened. 17-18 season, 47 wins, 30 losses, 5 OT, overtime losses, and 99 points. A career year, basically for the team ever since. They never made the playoffs since they were moved from Atlanta through Winnipeg. That was the first time they ever been to the playoffs ever since. And then, Hellebuyck just taking over the job of Mason, being absolutely fantastic. Getting to that third round of the conference final against the Golden Knights. They lose, and then Golden Knights lose against the Caps, win 4-1. The Stanley Cup goes to the Capitals. We all know that in 2018. And in 2018-19, Hellebuyck had a sign, and he got a big payday there of $6.6 million. That was a big contract right there. Getting to that was huge. They had a little of a drop, I would say, but not much. The point difference is not really different from 98, 99, but I felt like the team was dropped a little. I felt like it. Looking at what players left the Jets after this 18-19 season, Kevin Hayes, Hendricks, Lindholm, and Tavian. Kevin Hayes was traded to the Jets. Traded to the Jets from the Rangers for Brandon Lemieux and a first-round pick. And then we all know what happened to that first-round pick. Went back to Winnipeg. But you talk about this, and then he didn't really fit in as much with Winnipeg, even though he was a Winnipeg native. Didn't fit in with the team. We saw what happened. And then they traded him to the Flyers for a fifth-round pick because he was a UFA, that's why. And then he signed a $7 million contract with the Flyers. He's overpaid, or whatever. We won't even talk about that. Hendricks, older player, he left. Paul Lindholm, he is with the Boston Bruins now. And Brendan Tavian, he is with the Pittsburgh Penguins with a $3 million contract. I think that's overpaid too, but whatever. Other ones who left is Ben Sherratt. Ben Sherratt went to the Montreal Canadiens, $3.5 million. That's going to be a defenseman they're going to miss a lot. Joe Morrow, they do miss a little, I would say. Not as much. Jacob Trouba, overpaid. Went to the Rangers. I say he's overpaid. I think the Pionk is a better pickup for them, definitely. And Tyler Myers, overpaid, I would say, in Vancouver for a $7 million contract. And those guys are all overpaid because they want a ridiculous price. And Winnipeg's like, we got to sign Line Connell. You know what I mean? But let's get into it. We have our forwards of the first. This is not really the lines. They're probably like, why is Connell on the third line? Oh my goodness. That's not what we're getting into here. These are just, I put down the left wings, I put down the centers, I put down the right wingers. Okay. Looking down these left wing here, we have Ehlers, Line, and Connell. Looking at that, Ehlers had a $6 million contract. If you see the asterisk said injured for most of the season, he played 62 games, even though that's not most of the season. That did kill him a little on that. When he came back to the playoffs, he had no points. So that's a little of a strange thing. There's been talk about him getting traded, but whatever. I think he might stay. 37 points. I think he'll have a way better year next year. Definitely. Looking at what he's done, let's look at Patrick Laine. He's RFA, so that's where you see asterisk for black. Potential, someone can offer him off a sheet. He still has to be signed. We'll see what happens there. 50 points. He had around 30 goals, and the other year, 17-18 season, he had around 40. He was going against Ovechkin saying, "Ooh, can I beat Ovechkin for goals? I want that Maurice Richard trophy." Didn't get it, but this year, he really cut short on this one. Kyle Connor really showed like he was incredible. 66 points. He's also an RFA. Those two guys are going to have to pay a lot of money the Jets are going to have to give him a lot of money for those two guys. Definitely. Laine, we'll see what he's really worth right now after having a bad year in 18-19 season. But Connor, he's going to get a big bucks here with what he has done here. Definitely, this is a great left wing here. Those players are absolutely great left wingers. I think if you can try to trade like Ehlers or someone like that to get a center instead, I think that would be absolutely incredible, great idea. Like even I had an idea, Nikolai Ehlers for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and a second or something like that, so they get a center. Put out there, not saying it would happen. That would be great, because Oilers need they need a winger, and then Jets will get a center. Put it out there, just thought of that in my head right now. I hope it makes sense. Looking now down the middle, it's okay down the middle. Every offseason, every trade deadline, they're always trying to add that second line center, and they can never sign because they always want so much more bucks. Looking at here, Scheifele, $6.125 million, 84 points. Absolutely, that's your number one center. Down, square, packed. He's on for a long-term contract. We already know that. Doesn't need to be signed in a while. Looking at Little, 41 points, and his contract is $5.91 million. That's he did actually okay. He started off really well, and then he kind of went down a little. We saw, but he's still a good center. I gotta say, better than others. Looking at Lowry here, that's a thunderstorm you can hear. Lowry here, $2.916 million, 23 points. Lowry, I would say he's a pretty good player. Tough. Not the best. Either one, it's 23 points. That's pretty good for most players. And then you have Rato Perreault. He's getting up there, and he has 30 points. This was a down season again. He keeps going down. And, with a $4.125 million contract, this is something maybe you can start to consider trading. But down the middle, it's okay. It's better than other teams, gotta say. Looking at that right side, it's a little weak, I would say. But you have Blake Wheeler, of course, that's not the weak part of it. With $8.25 million contract, 91 points, absolutely fantastic season. He puts up those assists, gets those passes, the Scheifele to Laine, to Connor, to Ehlers, all those guys that get those points. Doesn't just do that, but scores goals. The captain, he's doing awesome. Looking at Jack Roslovic, he looks like he was going to be that guy. Oh, man, he can be our third line center or second line. He'll take over that Paul Stastny, center spot. Didn't work out like that. A little too much pressure for him. 24 points. He has an $814,000 contract. Still on that entry level there. But whatever, I think he's going to improve next year. Definitely, that's his rookie season. And we'll see what happens. Andrew Copp is an RFA, so he still needs to be signed. So we'll see, just like Kyle Connor and Patrick Laine, those three have to be signed. But he had 25 points. Absolutely fantastic. With Lowry, Copp. You're probably like, what do you mean fantastic? if you have a good third and fourth with ones who put over 20 points, that's pretty good, I gotta say. You know what I mean? I think they're pretty good work ethic, both of those guys, definitely. And let's move on to defense now. The defense is Kulikov, a $4.33 million contract, 6 points. He was injured for most of the year, but still, he's not worth that $4.33 million contract. Definitely not. So they need to get rid of that contract. Buffalo, $10.6 million contract with 31 points. He did slow down a little after having 45 points, but he was injured a little too. I should have put the asterisk there. Still a very good defenseman, even though he's getting older. Josh Morrissey with $3.15 million contract. He had 31 points, just like Bufflin. It looks like 3 points, but I think the 1 and the P kind of got messed up there a little. And then Puink had a $3 million contract, just signed with the Jets after being with the Rangers. And that has 26 points. He played with the Rangers. Definitely, this is upside. $3 million to bargain over the $7 million that they would have to sign if they still had Trouba. Definitely a big part of that. And then defense we have is Nathan Beaulieu. He signed a $1 million, 1 year, $1 million contract, 5 points, no goals, 5 assists. And Niku here is on a $775,000 contract, 4 points. And Tucker Pullman has a $775,000 contract. He has 25 points, but that was in the AHL. That means that, the last time he was in the NHL was in the 17-18 season, and he put around 1 goal, 1 assist, I think, in like 18 games. So you can really see he's not as good, but, if you need him, I guess you could use him, especially when the D core doesn't have the guys you want, like Trouba, Miles, Shaw, all those guys. So losing those guys is going to hurt, but we'll see what happens here. I do like the Puink deal, getting him. Looking at the goaltenders now, a little disappointing with Connor Hellebuyck here. After signing a $6.6 million contract, like I said, in the offseason of the 17-18, in the 18 to 19 off season, but whatever. A 290 goals against average, that is not worth that contract for a $6.6 million contract. You do not have a $6.6 million contract for a 2.90 goals against average. No, you don't. That's a bad contract for that. But what he did in that rookie season, that great season he had, it was worth it. But the 18-19 season last year was not worth this contract at all. Even Binnington got a lower price than what Hellebuyck asked for. So he needs to get back on that game, because Larry Brossoit, looking at his contract, was a $1.225 million with a $2.52 million, 2.52 goals against average. He has a lesser contract, and he played with a better average. He played way better than Hellebuyck, and he even took over games at times because Hellebuyck just couldn't do good. Struggled a lot, and he needs to really change it around. I was really disappointed with Hellebuyck with his contract. I really seemed like, oh boy, that contract's a little... when I saw it, I was like, man, that contract is high. It's only been 1 year, and I seen so many times, like the Scott Darling, when he signed with Carolina, $4 million. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna be, how's he gonna be a starter? And he never turned out to what we wanted, right? They never did. So who knows about Hellebuyck? Hopefully he gets better. And this team. Oh, don't forget about this. Last thing I'd like to talk about is what they still need. What does the Jets still need? 3 things. Well, most teams will love to have more of this cap space. Definitely, if they had more cap space, they would probably go out, try to get a center, or just someone, just help down that middle side. But that's kind of one of them. But just to get more and help on that defense too. But let's get into it. Left defense too. But let me go back to cap space really quick. The cap space, just to have that flexibility in room if you have to sign someone or if you want to trade for someone that's a bigger cap hit. Who would love to just have that flexibility? Everyone would love it. looking at the what they still need, I think they still need a left defenseman. Really look on this left defense here. I'm confused here a little. Okay, Josh Morrissey. Okay, he's a really good defenseman. Yeah, he done really good. But I don't know about Kulikov. I don't know about Kulikov. That's what I don't understand about. Well, he's a good passer. I've seen him in Montreal what he did, but I still think he can maybe prove a little bit more. They probably signed him $1 million. It's probably like, you want $1 million? You know, we don't have time to go look for another player. We need to focus on this. Be like, all right, fine. That left defense is weak. The right defense, not bad with Buffalo and Pionk, but that left defense needs a little bit more, and that's why they're missing Ben Sherratt. If they had Ben Sherratt, I think that would have been a little bit more help, but they don't have it. Montreal has him. I'm happy about that, but looking at that, that was the problem. And also the last point I'd like to talk about, what they still need now is a second-line center. Like I said, Paul Stastny in the 17-18 season, he came during the deadline. He put absolutely lights out, fantastic after being in the Blues. You know, absolutely fantastic. Signs of the Golden Knights. Well, first of all, the Jets realized they didn't have enough cap for him. And then they went, this last trade deadline, they went after Kevin Hayes from the Rangers. And he didn't fit in at all. You know, at all on that second line. Well, he was okay, but not the best. You know what I mean, with the Jets, and I just felt like that. But that's why. And they needed a better second line center. Like I said, I think they should trade Ehlers to the Oilers for Nugent Hopkins and a second round pick. And that'll resolve both sides for them. Oilers, excuse me, the Oilers would get the left wing, they get the winger they want, and the Jets get the center they want. Because that left side here is so packed. Or they can try to get a right winger, but I thought they probably need more down the middle. Alright, thank you for watching. This is NHL Action Support. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the season preview and how good would this team make it. Do I think they make the playoffs? I think they still do. But I think they're going to drop just a little. I don't think they're going to be Central Division titles. You know, I don't think they're going to make the President Trophy. But I think they're going to be third, you know what I mean, in the division. I feel like. I don't know. Thank you for watching. This is NHL News Report. Like the video, do the bell, comment, share, and I'll see you next video. This is NHL News Report. Let's get to 150 subs. Let's do it. See you next video. Bye.